Did you see that viral TikTok where the I think it's a woman, she's like, why do I have to work full time just to live? And it's like, seriously, that's their attitude. Yep. I'm like, entropy, I guess, oxidization, your body falls apart unless you do. It's like,
that's because office job work, like normal corporate America work, is kind of soul sucking. So I get why she said it.
I got to be honest. If, I was about to enter the gates of eternity and they said there's one where you're sitting in an office all day and one where you have to hunt and forage for survival, I'd go with the hunting and foraging.
Exactly, yeah.
That's for me.
Have you ever hunted? I don't know. That's a lot of.
Well, I wouldn't. Nothing
never
like.
Know if, yeah, you don't know if you're going to eat. You don't know if you're going to find food.
Right. What I'm saying is, like, if I had to choose a life between farming, how about that, and office work, I'd choose farming.
Okay, that's.
Oh man, like, come on, we've all seen Office Space.
The office work is pretty.
Like, it's a fair point. These people are going into jobs and they're just like, I sit here staring and doing nothing but this remedial garbage.
They're also overqualified, and like knowing too much is torturous. When like you're not really put to use in society, you're given this like meaningless email job that is useless and isn't a building block to anything important. Yeah. Of course, people are going to end up depressed and they're going to wonder, like, why am I even working anymore?
Yeah, the Federal Reserve.
But they won't exercise.
The Federal Reserve really wants people to work, this jobs economy where they're like, we need jobs. You dig the hole. Now you fill the hole back up. We're going to pay you both with our funny money and you owe us interest on the money we gave you. Now go. And that's what they want. They have people doing menial, almost sometimes even useless, literally. Dig it, fill it up. As long as people are busy.
I love this leftist meme where they're like, did you know that in medieval times people didn't work? And they had, what do they say? Like 50 days.
It was a communist utopia.
Yeah, they say that the medieval peasants had like 50 days of vacation and only worked like 4 hours a day and stuff like that.
By the way, because they were religious, they observed religious holidays. It's not vacation.
Right. But it's not just that. It's like, I love telling the story of my Occupy friend who went to work on a farm to reduce their carbon footprint. And they lasted 2 weeks. And they said it was because they were working sun up to sundown. It's like you wake up, you work, then you work until it's dark and you go to bed.
And it's like what happened with Chaz. They were like, this is too much work to have an autonomous zone.
Or with Occupy.
Back to the empire.
Yeah.
With Occupy, their inability to govern.
Yeah.
So with Occupy Wall Street, they tried doing the anarchist general council or whatever.
Yeah, I was there.
But when it didn't work, they were like, okay, we can't figure out how to find unanimity.
Unanimity?
Unanimity?
Yeah,
is that the word?
Something like that. But it is unanimous.
In order for there to be a functioning anarchist society, everyone has to agree with minimal dissent. That meant when they were trying to make a decision, you could have one or two dissenters, but it had to be like 95% of people in agreement.
And when one bad idea got into that group, it spread like fire, or had the potential to. And then all of a sudden you get 98% of the people are like, bad idea now.
But what ended up happening was you had a handful of people who knew for a fact, if we don't get bins to store clothing, it's getting soggy wet, it's growing mildew, it's getting filthy, and our food is spoiling. We need bins to seal this stuff from the rain. And they couldn't get it done. Because every time they would say, we want to use funds to buy bins, they would be like, no, plastics are bad for the environment. No, it's got to be recycled. It's got to be fair trade. It's got to come from a mom and pop shop. And so they finally agreed, okay, you can get the bins so long as they're fair trade, recycled, not from a box store. And they couldn't find that. It was impossible. So what did they do? They just went and bought from Walmart or whatever they could find. And then just didn't tell anybody. Because the anarchist system just literally didn't work. You couldn't find it. And so when it came to that system being broken, a bunch of these facilitators were like, how about we create a new system called the Spokes Council? Well, the problem was it was a General Assembly. Nobody would agree. They were like, no, you are not changing the system because you can't get what you want. So then one day, there was the funniest thing ever. They all say, all in favor of the new Spokes Council system. And like 2/3 of the people clap. And then the third are like blocking and saying no. And the guy goes, let me count. Yeah, we passed. It worked. And then it was just like, no, it didn't. You're just saying that. And people went along with it. Because like, what are you supposed to do? The guy talking said it happened. It happened.
The last night I was at Occupy with the council, we were working on, they wanted to build a decentralized Craigslist kind of thing where you could send items to people that need it, like protesters. And that was the idea. Maybe a technological solution is the way to develop anarchy. I don't know whatever happened to it, though.
Decentralized Craigslist.
Yeah. I guess Craigslist itself is not technically decentralized on a bunch of servers, but the idea is you work with the seller. You don't have to go through a central portal, so it's a bit redundant.
Like Craigslist for philanthropic causes.
Yeah, I was supposed to be.
By
And
the
then I
way,
lost- I
the
don't know what
rants
happened.
and raves section on Craigslist is top tier, better than Twitter.
Yeah.
I love it. The
Maybe we should
memes,
make a show based on that.
Craigslist.
Just reading Craigslist rants.
You ever
finding
read
good
like
ones.
the
I'm obsessed.
misconnections?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and my friends used to make fake ones.
Saw
was
you
like-
at the studio, but you were deep in the computer.
We had one where it was like, I see you all the time. I saw you at work. I don't think you noticed me. And then like it increasingly got darker and darker where it was like, I remember seeing you walk home. You were so beautiful. I don't know if you've noticed me, but I want to give you my number. I was, standing outside your house. I looked through your window. Things like that. Just really funny.